the difference between augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed reality. It is a range of experiences. On one hand, we have virtual reality, which is a total immersive experience where you put on a headset and you are disconnected from your environment. Everything you see and interact is a 3D generated object. And on the other hand, for augmented reality, you have a connection to your environment, like in HoloLens, and you have some extra information, maybe 3D or maybe audio information that's available to you, which is augmenting your reality. Also, we have mobile phone applications like Pokemon Go. You are looking through the glass of your phone and you're able to find 3D objects in the real world. And this whole range of experiences we call mixed reality. And short, it's called XR.
Hey, hi, Carlo.
Hello, Karan.
Yes, how are you doing?
I'm doing very, very good. It's a beautiful evening in
Okay.
London, so I'm enjoying my time.
Okay, so for all of those who are joined in, this next section is going to be very interesting. So I have with me Mr. Carlo Asmar, who is an AR integration specialist for K-12, and he's also the president of the Toastmasters Academy based out of Florence, Italy. So Carlos, the floor is all yours. So please go ahead and start your session. I'll join you later after the Q&A.
Absolutely. So thank you, Karan, for that introduction. I'll share my screen. If you can only give me an okay, if it's visible and all that, then you can disappear and I'll take over. So let's do this. Okay. So is my screen visible?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. So, okay, I'll start right ahead. Thank you, Karan. I would like these next 40 minutes to be a collective meditation and reflection on the future. Because imagining the future allows us to be creative. It gets us excited and motivated to build a better world by imagining what it could be from a positive and broader point of view. I believe that if we live our lives with visions and dreams that keep us curious and excited, we will collectively build impactful experiences and realities that shape our society for the better, creating ripples that last forever. The rhyme not intended. But this speech is not going to be, however, a long, detailed list of opinions and statistics as to why technologies like augmented reality or virtual reality will inevitably be part of our lives. You might have already heard of hundreds or thousands of reasons, and adding more won't really serve anyone. So today we are going to grab an imaginary magnifying lens and zoom into a classroom. Not a classroom in 2021, but a classroom of the future. For simplicity, let's pick 2030 as the year for our journey. We're going to follow a day in the school life of Tina, a primary student that is growing immensely as an individual, creating the grounds to become a future visionary leader, thanks to the support and education she is receiving at school. A smart school. A smart school which utilizes emerging technology, effectively empowering students in their learning journey. After this speech, I hope you will better understand why it is important that schools go smart by adopting emerging technologies and what they entail, how this will shape our society for the better, and how you can be part and aid this progress. So, who is Tina? Tina is who you would find on Google Images if you search for curious kid. She has a spark in her eyes every time she smells adventure. She loves being in the open air, surrounded by things happening, whether in a city or the woods, exploring the world and making friends, from little creatures to people she finds in her travels. To think of it, it's actually quite hard to describe her. Tina is not someone you can fit into a box. She doesn't know what she wants to be in the future. She can change hobbies, friends, and interests by the month. Last year, for example, she fell in love with skiing, saying she would ski in all the highest mountains in the world. Well, this year she dropped it completely and started dreaming of being an artist, creating animated movies like the Disney movies she loves, where her creativity can be unleashed. Tina is looking forward to starting her school day. She woke up by 7 o'clock, all by herself, ate breakfast, and ran outside to go meet the bus. She truly enjoys being at her school. Her teachers respect her value and uniqueness, knowing that she has the soul of a wanderer, someone who is always changing their identity, reinventing themselves multiple times as they move through life. They know that forcing an identity or one way of doing things onto Tina will never work. She will rebel. She needs a fluid and flexible environment to learn and grow, one where she can explore independently while being guided and supported from her teachers. This type of environment works for Tina and will lead her to become a more mature and holistic person that can help others like herself find their way, to find their purpose. So, after 10 minutes of her routine bus ride, she reaches the school's beautiful front yard, adorned with a variety of flowers, vertical plants, fountains, and everything you can imagine. A mesmerizing spectacle for the eyes. A place that makes you smile when you enter, instead of being depressing. So she enters the school, greets the employees at front desk, and proceeds towards the classroom for her first class of the day, geometry. Now, you could think that geometry is not on Tina's favorite subjects list, but she would be wrong. Sure, she enjoys other subjects more, but she is developing a profound appreciation for geometry. See, her school has integrated technological tools, in this case, augmented reality, virtual reality, and 3D printing, that are allowing her to explore geometrical objects and concepts for herself, creating a very deep engagement with the subject. Instead of being told why geometry is important and how it fits in our world, she is finding her own reasons and making her own conclusions, which she can then discuss with teachers. We all know that finding your own reason as to why something is important is much, much more impactful than being told why it is important. On this note, I would like to quote or to share a quote by Seymour Papert, who is a mathematician, computer scientist, and educator at MIT. And he said, "You can't teach people everything they need to know. The best you can do is position them where they can find what they need to know when they need to do it, when they need to know it." So I think this philosophy really, really works well. So now that Tina is sitting at her desk, let's take a deeper look at how these technologies I mentioned are helping her learn geometry. First of all, 3D printing. With 3D printing, Tina is able to touch, feel, and interact with simple or complex 3D objects and patterns, utilizing an incredible sense that we all have to learn: touch. Touch, which is often unutilized in traditional education. It's almost like we forgot that kids first start exploring with touch. This technology is also fostering her creativity. Tina's geometry teacher loves creating projects where the kids have to collaborate and use critical thinking to solve problems. In fact, today's assignment is building a pyramid inspired by the ancient Egyptian structures by using building blocks which Tina and her classmates can print and assemble. Now, the challenge is creating a pyramid as wide as their desks So it's up to them to print out building blocks of the right measurements and make it all come together for the pyramid to stand and work. A very nice challenge for Tina, who gets excited for fun problems to solve. In a nutshell, 3D printing is creating the opportunity for Tina and her classmates to collaborate, to build on each other's creativity, challenging each other, inspiring each other. A powerful tool for any class or any grade. It does not end here. As Tina's school has adopted another technology which is taking the 3D printer's value and increasing it tenfold. I am referring to augmented reality. With AR, Tina can visualize and manipulate the geometrical object she is exploring, including any object she creates with a 3D printer. There are so many things she can do with AR, like learning about 2D dimensions, to fractions, and much more. You can see a few examples on the screen. In this case, a triangular prism and a cylinder on a book. So you can do different things like look at 2D dimensions, open it up, look at fraction. There's a number of things that she can learn, especially paired with the 3D object she is creating. So 3D printing paired with AR is generating a more interactive, dynamic, and creative environment for her to learn with her peers, creating memorable experiences that will last a lifetime. In her smart school, Tina feels alive. Her confidence and social skills are rising. Her worldview is positive and full of hope. She wants to lead change and help others feel as happy as she is. After an hour of hard work, the project is done. The pyramid has been built perfectly. Tina's group was actually the first one to finish, even after the pyramid collapsed when it was almost done. She can now celebrate with her friends. The next class of the day is physical education. Tina and her classmates walk towards the school gym, and she is bursting for excitement to what is probably every student's favorite time of the week. Physical education in Tina's school is the embodiment of coolness. See, her school has invested in the best virtual reality headsets for sports available on the market. After wearing the headset for a minute, it feels like it's not there anymore. It's lightweight, small, waterproof, and functional, made for sports. The company making them also has a prototype for VR contact lenses, which I think could be even more groundbreaking. Tia has PE, personal education, twice a week. And today is the day where she gets to wear the headset and enjoy incredible activities while working out. So, win-win. See, with virtual reality, Tina can be anywhere in the world without ever leaving her gym. Do you love football or soccer for the Americans listening? Then imagine playing football with your friends or classmates in Wembley Stadium. Love swimming and love animals as well? Then why not swim with dolphins in a beautiful tropical sea instead of a boring indoor pool? Or you can even have sharks chasing you, or a crocodile shark mutant, anything you want if you love a challenge. Tina's personal favorite activity is the skiing machine for the passion she used to have and still has somewhat. She jumps on it as soon as she enters the gym, and the machine replicates the feeling and challenge of skiing. Paired with virtual reality, she can ski on the most beautiful European slopes, exercising while having a blast. After skiing for about half an hour, she joins her friends for her second favorite activity to do in the gym, simply playing pass the ball with her classmates in beautiful environments, though, like today where she chose Niagara Falls to play ball with her friends. What an ugly place to choose. As you can imagine, she is having the time of her life. She is inspired daily by the possibilities of technology and what they can do for the world, creating healthier, more interconnected human beings. Tina is very young, but very wise as well. She recognizes the negative aspects of being surrounded by technology and realizes that it is important to find a balance. Now, she realized this because her school encourages her to think for herself, to come up with her own conclusions through reflection and conversation with others. Of course, her teacher's guidance is very important. They ask the right questions for the kids to reflect, both through intellect and feelings. The final class of the day is science. Now, Tina School is incorporating a number of different subjects for science, a number of different, technologies for science. We'll look at a few today. First of all, the textbooks. Tina School is incorporating her school likes keeping things both old and new and still utilizes physical textbooks. Although they do have a storage facility that works, so the students do not need to carry those heavy backpacks full of books. Now, the old meets the new. As Tina textbooks are not that traditional. Every image, object, or concept on the book can be visualized in 3D with augmented reality or virtual reality, from the evolution of the species to the solar system to weather and climate change. For the first hour of science, Tina is studying the creation of stars, a spectacle of the cosmos. First, she learns about the theory behind this unique event, thanks to the teacher's lecture. And after, she puts a VR headset, enters a rocket, and launches into space, arriving right in front of the event, the birth of a new sun. Now close your eyes for a second and imagine the experience that it has created. Hearing the sound of the rocket launching, feeling like an astronaut, seeing the nebula where the stars is about to form. If this experience won't reinforce her knowledge on the subject, I don't know what will. During her second hour, she's applying the concepts she learned last week in chemistry class with laboratory experiments. Now, these are not done in a physical lab, but a virtual one. In this lab, she can do whatever she wants. She can create things. Even if she ends up creating nitroglycerine, her school is safe because the virtual lab is totally virtual. It's a perfect playground for her to experiment and feel like a real chemist. Now the bell rings, school time is over, Tina hops on the bus back home, ready for a warm meal. Luckily, this is a real meal, no more virtual things. Looking outside the window, she is hypnotized by the beauty of the world. She starts daydreaming of what she could be. I love so many things, she says, but I just can't make up my mind. Other kids know what they want to be, like a doctor, a video game producer, or an artist. I don't. But at least all that I know is that I don't want to feel the same as I do in school. I want to do something where I feel fulfilled and happy, where I can create freely and by doing so inspire others. You can rest assured that a person like Tina will not make up her mind anytime soon, which is fine. There is no rush. She needs to know she doesn't need to know her future job, taxes and mortgages as a kid, but all that she needs to know is that she can become whatever she wants to become. That confidence that she has, that is created, is never lost. It will stay with Tina forever. Her smart school is inspiring her, which is what all schools should be doing. They are integrating the best technologies and practices to benefit teachers and students, adding value to their education. Specifically, it is creating a deeper engagement with the subject students are learning, as students are hooked by exploration, especially when it's so fascinating, right? Like we saw before. They don't feel like they are forced to learn something. They reflect and realize how these lessons and knowledge will benefit them in life. A multisensory learning experience, sight, touch, hearing, which increases information retention and fits the needs of different types of learners, visual, auditory, or kinesthetic. Complex topics are easier to explain with the advantages of these tools, like virtual reality or augmented reality. Building 21st century skills, as students are encouraged to be more creative, use critical thinking, and work as a team. In addition, kids that grow up with these technologies, with these emerging technologies, especially technologies which will be part of our everyday life, will have an immense competitive advantage. I want to say that just because a process generally works like the traditional educational system, it doesn't mean it cannot be improved. Humans live to innovate and improve. It is a fact that a lot of people get burned by the traditional educational system and stop actively learning, and the curiosity they had as a kid slowly fades away. Smart schools promise to keep that flame lit, inspiring and assisting students in their own personal journey of growth and understanding. While writing this speech, I was daydreaming, lost in contemplation, thinking about the societal impact smart schools will have if we make them a reality. Just imagine how many more kids who become teens and then adults will finish school with a fire in their heart. Instead of being glad that it's finally over, they are grateful for everything they've received, for all the opportunities, lessons, and fun they've had. In turn, they will give back to you, to me, and to society, shaping it and solving important global issues. Sure, this is only one piece of the puzzle, but it is a very important piece. Well, it's one of the corner pieces you need before starting a puzzle, unless you're crazy, of course. Now, how can you help if you're not in the education industry? Simply by keeping this vision of the future in your mind, talking to your friends, colleagues, or educators if you know any, and sharing your thoughts and ideas for the future. If we collectively hold the same vision of a brighter future and put the messages out there, funny enough, that's what the future will look like. This is the gift we have as humans, which is often misused. I hope you had a chance to reflect with me and form your own ideas and thoughts. There will be time for questions, so feel free to post them in chat if you have any, and I'll be glad to answer them. Let's create smart schools together for a better, smarter world. Thank you.
Oh, wow. So that was an amazing session, Carlos. So thank you so much for that session. So let me quickly check in the comments if you have any questions. Okay, so there are none on for now. Okay, so I had a question, Carlos. So I'm particularly interested in the field of education myself. So I wanted to know, uh, looking at possibilities of AR experiences being in classrooms, do you also plan to integrate it with something like gamification, for example, which would help motivate students also? So do you plan to do that as well?
Absolutely. I personally work in a company doing augmented reality for primary education, and I've seen a lot of use of gamification simply for the fact that kids love video games. I love video games myself, and there's examples like applications like Duolingo, if you've heard about it, which takes language learning and creates it and makes it into a game. There's a reason why it's so successful, because if I'm having fun, if there's challenges, and I'm enjoying my time while learning, it's much more likely that I remember that knowledge. It's much more likely that I'll continue doing it and I'll be consistent. And as you know, consistency is probably the most important thing in learning and mastering a subject, art, or any other thing. So definitely gamification, I think, is a huge plus, and I see it as a great integration. And thank you for
Okay.
I see a couple of comments asking thanks, so thank you for that.
Yes. Yes, so that's true. And I actually wanted to know more on, can you also talk about a little on the Toastmasters Academy? So, what are the prerequisites for one to, get into the academy, and what are the benefits primarily?
So, absolutely, I'll give a few words on what that is. So, Toastmasters International is a global association. If anybody here is joining from the States, you probably know it. And it's been launched actually in 1924, so it's almost 100 years old. And it's always been teaching communication, public speaking, leadership, and all these subjects in an interesting way, because it's not a professor teaching you leadership, communication, public speaking, but it's a community of members that are helping each other, that are doing projects, and that are collaborating to improve their skills. So Toastmasters Academy Florence specifically is the club we have in Florence, because that's where I'm from, in Florence in Italy. And currently the president, because it's all volunteering. Before I had other roles, and I'm just enjoying bringing this reality to other people, bringing new people in. The requisites are very simple. You have to have an interest in improving yourself, and you're already eligible to join. And so if you go on Toastmasters International, I'm sure you can find thousands of clubs in your area, at least in Europe and the States. In other countries, I'm not sure. In Asia also a lot, but you can have a look. It's definitely a great thing and personally changed my life. I would not be here without Toastmasters, so I'm very grateful.
Okay, so thank you so much, Carlo, for your wonderful answer. So I
Her-
see that there are, uh,
yeah, Hernanda
uh,
asked, sorry to
yes,
interrupt you, Karen, if he can have the link for the community. Absolutely,
yes,
Hernanda. If you can also add me on Discord, if you ask, I'll be sure to send you that link.
yes. So let's wait. I think there is a question coming up. Okay, so okay, so there is no such question as such, but if you could also share with the audience the link to, if you have any thing that you have developed as of now, like you showcased some examples, so maybe that would be handy for people who would like to try out the smart classrooms, or come up with that. So that is also
Of
something that you
course.
could.
Should I do that
Yeah,
on Discord, Karen, or here in
yeah,
chat?
you could do it in Discord as well, so maybe that is something that would help the community as well. So yeah, Carlos, so once again thank you, and after seeing your talk, all that I can say is that I wish I was Tina.
I wish too. I mean, part of the speech, how I wrote it, is like, what would I have wanted while growing up, while being in school? Because there was a lot of positives, obviously, but there was a lot of negatives. And I hope these technologies and their tools, that they're powerful tools. So with the right minds and attitude, which is what I hope to convey in this speech, they can be really powerful, which I hope is what will happen. We'll put the effort, and I'm sure we'll make it happen. But thank you, Karen.
Okay, thank you, ciao,
Goodbye. Thank you everyone for attending, and have a lovely day, evening, or morning.
bye.